Morning. Welcome, people. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk TV here on AOC Community Media. That's Cox 15 and LUS Channel 3 in Lafayette and surrounding areas. Well, the Five Parish area is 2025. As of 2025, please consider supporting AOC Community Media. That's my trusty AOC Cup. Someone would say that's the most valuable thing you could get out of AOC. No. And as Brother Wallace would say, you're getting a chance to reach the community. You're getting a chance to present independent media. Independent media is the key. We have so many things going on, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, all these networks are, like Mr. Kevin would say, trash. And I, myself, in 2025, are going to focus on more independent media. Now, some would say you should have a journalism license to broadcast or disseminate information. No, not necessarily. Didn't the internet created platforms where people can share information? The only problem I have, long as it's factual, and it can be opinionated, it can be one side or the other, but you want to base everything on facts. Opinions can be based on facts. So with that said, so much is going on this week. I want to give my deepest sympathy to the family of Miss Bernadette Stephen, who lost her husband this past weekend. She is a dear friend of ours in our circle here at AOC Community Media. We want to, give her our deepest sympathies, and hopefully we have her on in the near future on one of the platforms. She has so much to offer as far as spiritual guidance and those beautiful gospel songs that she sings all the time. So give my sympathies to Miss Bernadette Stephen. I want to go into something in 2025, and we're going to be hard, but we're going to be real. And I'm going to say this. Corporate media is no friend of black folks. Corporate media, whether it's white-owned, whether it's white-owned with black faces that you hear saying the same thing, just spinning their wheels, saying the same thing every weekend. Well, turn off corporate media and support independent media. That's the way of the future. I want to also give my shout out to a young man, Miss George Boogie Olivier, who got the new station in New Iberia called 105.7. 105.7. Also, please continue to support 88.3 FM KIEE, your superstation for South Louisiana. I know for sure they'll be back on the air bigger and better in 2025. So we got to give them our support. They had some technical glitches, but they're trying to iron them out. And sometimes these technical glitches take a while. So we just want to give that support. Let me go over to my board. When you see me looking this way, I want to start off with something that's going on. Now, today in court, the ACLU, and this is important, is having to deal with voting rights for black folks and whether or not black folks can support black candidates for a seat. And, we saw that in this past election with former State Senator Cleo Fields being elected to the congressman district in here in this Louisiana area. Now, the ACLU sent me this press release. What's at stake? Nareen versus Landry poses a challenge under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 to Louisiana's House and Senate legislation maps on behalf of the plaintiff black voters and black voters across the state. Yes, indeed. In March of 2022, the ACLU of the ACLU of Louisiana, the NAACP, I think that's the Legal Defense Fund, and the Louisiana attorney John Adcock brought Section 2 challenge to the Louisiana House and Senate legislative maps on behalf of black voters across the state. Both plans pack black voters into a small number of majority black districts and crack under black communities across other districts to prevent them from forming an effective voting bloc. As a result, black voters in Louisiana cannot participate equally in the political process or elect candidates of their choice outside the few majority black districts. A federal court heard the full trial on the merits from November 2023 to December 2023. In the 7-day trial, the court heard testimony from black Louisiana voters who brought the case, as well as statistical evidence of vote dilution and evidence of historical and ongoing voting discrimination in the state from the plaintiff's expert. On February 8, 2024, the district court ruled in the plaintiff's favor, finding Louisiana House and Senate legislative maps violated Section 2 of the VRA across the state, including around Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Natchitoches, Lake Charles. Plaintiffs satisfied the Gringo's preconditions and every relevant Senate factor to, out of legalese in here, overwhelming to satisfy the totality of the circumstances, test demonstrating a clear Section 2 violation. With that said, I know today the argument Nareen versus Landry, and Landry, I guess it's must be Jeff Landry, it would take place in Baton Rouge, I think. I'm sorry, in the court of jurisdiction. So pay attention to that. If you want more information, go to the ACLU of Louisiana website, or go to the National ACLU, or go to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, or even go to the Louisiana Illuminator. It has some excellent articles on that. Now today I want to get into, and again, you want to call area code 337-983-6080. I want to get into something else that is troubling to me. Here's the problem. In 2025, we cannot be playing softball. These people have been playing hardball. And I know what Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Well, you know what? We've been going high, and we are getting beat at every turn by these MAGA clowns, people who are basically ignorant, corrupt, and racist to the core. That's who is beating us. It's time that our elected representative, now this is a file photo of the Louisiana Black Caucus, which is kind of old, and I left out Cleo and the brother from New Orleans. But the problem is this: Clay Higgins can say and do anything he wants and represent this state, and not one of these people really call a press conference and say, look, push back on that. How are we going to inspire our people to vote? Voter apathy is part of the problem with the Black Caucus, the one they have now and the one in the past. Voter apathy. And we, as people who want to comment, or people who have an opinion about stuff, should be able to talk about these things that are going on. And we should be able to point that out. This is based on facts, that Clay Higgins is running the board with everything. So I'm going to try to get to this clip where Congressman Jasmine Crockett, who I would say run for president, and actually, if I had to choose somebody to be a member of a Black Caucus, that's who I would want representing me, Congressman Jasmine Crockett. Not only smart, but fearless. That's the type of people we need. So I want to play this clip, and you give me your opinion on it right now.
Don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed, That's not the definition of oppression. You tell me the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment that you've had, and we can have a conversation.
That is Representative Jasmine Crockett laying the smackdown on racist Representative Clay Higgins. What did Clay Higgins say to deserve that in a debate about DEI? He made this argument.
To my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, I'm an original co-sponsor of this bill, and I've noted some of the comments here, and I believe we should take a step back and ask ourselves, what do we seek in our republic regarding individual rights, liberties, and freedoms? I mean, do you believe in those core tenets of our republic or not? We have an opportunity before us with this bill to push back against it. The ranking member mentioned a sweeping attack. Yes, this is what we have suffered. We have suffered as a nation, a sweeping attack against equality. That's exactly what we're fighting against. Another colleague mentioned oppression and degradation. It's exactly what we're pushing back against. This is a bill that eliminates government-sponsored oppression of individual rights, liberties, and freedoms in the land of the free. Freedom of opportunity, not result. And reflecting upon the gentleman's comments of our former colleague, former Representative Gates, he's not here to defend himself. So let me speak on his behalf for all Americans accused of any crime at any level. I refer you again to our Constitution. Every American has the right to be recognized as innocent until proven guilty. Representative Gates has certainly demonstrated that he is a brilliant litigator. He's represented the interests of his district, and his own principles would sometimes vary from mine. He and I have very different opinions about some things. He's a highly qualified and brilliant man. And to attack him with accusations by name in this committee is wrong. The man's not here to defend himself. So I support the bill, Mr. Chairman. It is quite simply a strong response to the oppression of our individual rights, liberties, and freedoms as Americans, regardless of color or creed or political affiliation or where you stand upon the economic strata, what your background is or your heritage. All of us should be counted as Americans equal as we move forward through the course of our life on our journey, and we should not face obstructions that are baked into our government bureaucracies that exclude citizens strictly based upon their color, their heritage, their creed. This removes those oppressions.
You consistently said over and over the word oppression, and every time that you said it, it was almost as if I was hearing nails on a chalkboard, because it seems like you don't understand the definition of oppression, and I'd ask you to just refer to Google to help you out. Oppression is the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. That is the definition of oppression. And so as I sit here as a black woman who practiced civil rights, let me tell you the reason that my colleagues wanted to make sure you understood the same black history that your side of the aisle wants to delete out of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen.
Clay Higgins, however, is a symptom of a much wider problem within the Republican Party. White supremacists aren't just accepted, they're welcomed and protected and forgiven very quickly for horribly racist things, and then we act as though it's just a slip of the tongue when it's a pattern of behavior. And it's just amazing how quickly Republicans fall in line and back the good old boys.
Any comment on the tweet that Clay Higgins put out today about Haitians?
I heard about that on the floor just now as well. Clay Higgins is a dear friend of mine and a colleague from Louisiana, and a very frank and outspoken person. But he's also a very principled man. And I think he tweeted, I didn't even see it, but he tweeted something today about Haitians, and he was approached
by January 20th.
Okay. Well, look, he was approached on the floor by colleagues who said that was offensive. He went to the back. I just talked to him about it. He said he went to the back and he prayed about it and he regretted it and he pulled the post down. That's what you want a gentleman to do. I'm sure he probably regrets some of the language he used, but, we move forward. We believe in redemption around here.
Clay Higgins is a racist and has been his entire career, all the way back to when he admitted he voted for David Duke, who at the time was a known Grand Wizard of the KKK, and he admitted that he voted for him. He's a homeboy and all, which is what he said. Google it. It's in an article. And he also, in 2007, assaulted an unarmed black man and lied about it. The man is a racist, and he put it on paper, and he's unapologetic for it. Yep. So let's call a spade here with that, and not let him get away with it, and not let the Republican speaker and Republican members of Congress brush it off as if he just, made a comment that's no big deal. This is a big deal because people are threatened. Entire communities are threatened because of this stuff.
That's right. Representative Clay Higgins is maybe as close to a real-life Batman villain as you get. In his quest to get to Congress, he worked as a cop, but had a vigilante persona, making straight-to-camera videos, as cops should do, warning suspects he was coming after them. His brand's almost exclusively Law and Order, which is kind of funny considering some of the people he associates with. Like this man here was accused of incest by a teenage relative. One of his cop friends was allegedly part of a sex trafficking ring. In 2007, Higgins and another officer assaulted an unarmed black man while on duty, according to an internal police investigation, and reporting from Louisiana outlet Bayou Brief. The party of Law and Order has a rap sheet that's out of control. Kind of weird, right? Kind of incongruous, kind of strange. You're about law and order, how about follow the law and maintain order and don't do a bunch of illegal bad stuff? I mean, even some of Trump's new picks in this Trump 2.0 cabinet have proved too corrupt and even too deviant for a party full of corrupt deviants. Looking at you, Matt Gaetz.
I've never been a prosecutor, but why would you want to become a prosecutor to then not prosecute the criminals? That'd be like opening restaurants and not wanting to make food. That'd be like opening a bar and not wanting to make drinks. Like, do you ever get to talk to some of these folks in your community and say, hey, I just sort of assumed that me being the restaurateur, I would run a restaurant, and you being the prosecutors, you would prosecute the criminals. Is that too much to ask?
Is that too much to ask, Matt? I don't think so. I agree with you for once. The criminals should be prosecuted. So maybe we should prosecute you and see if you're indeed the criminal that it seems you might be. And I say might be, for legal reasons. I'm Ben Glebe for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, on all podcast platforms, or follow me at Ben Glebe on social media. Thank you.
Yeah, we're back here at Real Talk TV. Real Talk, go to realtalkmedia.com if you want to look at some of these stories. We're also broadcasting live on realtalkmedia.com. Go to realtalkmedia.com. That is our website. You can catch me on my Facebook page. You also can catch me on YouTube on Real Talk. A shout out to Sister Khadijah and Brother Shahid, Finders Keepers, our sponsors at the Open Line Radio Show every Wednesday. So check us out on tomorrow. We might not be in the studio. We might be in the studio. We have a lot of cold weather in South Louisiana, so we just want to say that. So Clay Higgins caught the ire of Jasmine Crockett. Our sister is basically trying to tell us you don't have to be an idiot. You don't have to be dumb. You can be smart, intelligent, and you can still get your point across. And she made those points very dramatically, as Marjorie Taylor Greene found out, and now Clay Higgins found out. You need to ask somebody who she is. And that's what we need. We need We need people in the so-called Black Caucus to stand up and to address those issues with Clay Higgins. How else are you going to move the electorate to vote if you're showing some weak-minded situation? Now, you got to ask the question, are they scared of Clay Higgins? Are they corrupt? Or maybe both? Again, that's some of the present members of the Black Caucus in the state of Louisiana and former members of the Black Caucus. The problem is we want to break bread with everybody because we know one who was the head of the Black Caucus. He's working for a Republican elected official. Now, nothing's wrong with that. But are they getting something from these Republicans who they're working for? Do they sit down and ask the question, all of these things that Donald Trump, Jeff Landry is enacted against the black community, and the perception has to be real, you know, are you as an elected official who the black community support in the city of Lafayette, are you telling Jeff Landry, Donald Trump, that you disagree with that? So if you're working, whatever title you have with that mayor in Lafayette, do you have that kind of sit-down conversation? Let alone come sit down and talk on a show like this that is an open show, right? Don't have to run to the local CBS affiliate that give you those little sound bites or any one of these other stations. Shout out to Byron Allen for owning the Fox and NBC affiliate. But Byron Allen is part of the corporate mindset. The corporate mindset won't let you tell the truth. The only corporate mindset is telling the truth are the ones on the other side of the aisle. The Fox News, the Fix News, the One America with 3 Ks, or the these other fly-by-night networks that's popping up, or even the Twitter X. You know, instead of Twitter X, it should be EX. People, please turn off Twitter. Please disconnect from Twitter. Please take dissolve your account. You know, that's all I could say. So, again, when will the Black Caucus stand up to Clay Higgins and others like him in this state? You know, or Jeff Landry? That's yet to be seen, yet to be heard in this state. So I'm going to go to another clip. And the clip is how the MAGA candidates in the state of Louisiana has been cutting up over this whole so-called terrorist situation. Shout out and a sympathy goes out to those who lost loved ones in that horrible event. But again, that soldier, that person who did that situation was trained by the American government as an Army officer, right? Same as Timothy McVeigh, he was trained as a United States soldier, and he basically did much more damage. And so when they start pointing fingers towards people with different skin colors saying they're doing more damage in America, we got to ask, well, what about Timothy McVeigh? He was a American trained soldier. So that's what old P-Lips, and I call him P-Lips, John Kennedy didn't ask about the connection to Timothy McVeigh and to the person in New Orleans. Well, they both was American trained soldiers. But I want to play this part right here, and we come right back.
The MAGA Republican governor of Louisiana apparently just thought the terrorist attack in New Orleans by a domestic terrorist was just one big joke. I mean, I just want to show you how MAGA Republicans simply can't conform their behavior to kind of socially acceptable norms. Here's the MAGA Republican governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry. As he's at the press conference, he thinks this is all funny. He's trying to pop his collar and he's doing jokes. I mean, this is the governor of Louisiana during a terrorist attack from a homegrown terrorist from Texas. Here, watch this.
You cannot convince me that this man gives a shit about New Orleans or its people. You can see standing off to the side before the press conference, Jeff Landry was popping his collar and flashing that wide Louisiana grin like it was showtime for him, rather than the moment to address a tragedy. He couldn't wait to step up to the podium and finally be somebody. Jeff, read the room.
And by the way, this wasn't unique to the MAGA Republican governor of Louisiana. The MAGA Republican senator, Senator Kennedy, was behaving just so inappropriately as well. During the press conference, the mayor and the police chief had to like shut him up and be like, excuse me, can you be quiet? What are you doing over there? Like, and just watch his face the whole time. Like he literally can't stand still and behave normally. Watch this.
It's been on your radar since this morning. As it relates to the bollards on Bourbon Street, over 10 years ago, excuse me, okay, over 10 years ago, the city of New Orleans, because that is the investigation part, I will give the FBI.
Yes, we're back. Yes, we're back here at Real Talk TV. We have a guest on the line. Caller, welcome to Real Talk TV.
Yes, thank you so much. And you have a few other people that's trying to call, but that 337-983-6080 number is not working.
It's working. It's just not ringing into the system. I see the numbers up. We're going to iron that out when we get our budget, get our budget up for 2025.
Yeah, well, Jay, I wanted to say that the best historical debate in existence were these three different powerful speakers, and we're talking about a period, debate within the 20th century, and that was Booker T. Washington, W.E. Du Bois, and the great honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And I wanted to say that that's people that we need to look up and read about their research and everything, but they're the top three when it comes down to protest, presentation. It's those top three. And also one of the best movie in existence is the movie by Tyler Perry with 388. Right. And that's with Kerry Washington, a great bit of good artists. And one of the most important scene on there, and I do you mind if I recite it?
No, go ahead, my sister. Go ahead.
Okay. And this is Kerry Washington talking to her racist battalion commander. Over my dead body. What did you say? Sir, with all due respect, my battalion is working day and night in horrible conditions. We have no heat most of the time. It gets so cold that the women have to put water in their helmets to wash themselves. You gave us this place to turn into a barracks with no bed and no help. And my women are harassed. Then they are befriended only to ask if they have tails under their skirt after midnight because of the rumors of white soldiers. You sent me a chaplain, not to pray, but to spy on us. We just lost 2 soldiers to a USB who was highly trained. And I know because I trained them. And you wouldn't even give the orders for them to have a proper burial. I know we are fighting a war, but our war starts with us being Negro. We are fighting on every front. So as I said, over my dead body, sir.
Wow.
Have you heard?
Yes. Great rendition of that segment. Yes. Sister, what would we do because they got others who collect our tax dollars want to eliminate teaching of any type of history in the school system? Should we do like our brother Mr. Kevin say, teach our history to our young people ourselves, right?
Well, if you teach your own history,
what I'm saying is start curriculums where we could get the people that we give our money to. We give our money to the churches. Some of us, we give our money to these clubs, these organizations, these systems. Should we make that a priority since the government system saying they're going to take black history, real black history, not the one that tell you, well, it was good that you was a slave, you learned something,
I tell you one thing, you really can't expect or even want your oppressors to teach your children too much of anything. It's imperative. It's imperative that we do our own teaching, even at home. When you go home, there should be some type of pictures, books yes. around. People think.
I got to salute you. You live up to what you're saying. They got others, like myself, fall short, but you do live up with the pictures and the audio visuals that you have in your domain. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Thank you. People think, and still today, that the father of medicine, and I'm just thinking about him, Sims, the father of medicine. In some places, he's still the father of medicine, but that was a no good, murderous, white doctor. That's what he was. He experimented cutting through black women bodies over and over again. And today they still in some places have him as the father of medicine. Yes. Our children need to know that. You look that rascal up and you will see what he's about. This is important. No matter how you look at it, we have to be able to teach our own. You have medical apartheid by Sister what's her name? Washington, Harriet Washington. She is explaining all of the experiments, the Tuskegee, the experiments that they done on black people, just so that they could go ahead and get their name written and get the monies that came with that. It's the reason why Brother Takuna Malana El-Shabaab's book, it should be no reason it's not a bestseller. Mm-hmm. It's telling you the difference between Cajun and niggers. We will never, ever consider a Cajun. And here they want to make you believe, this Acadiana. Where in the hell does Acadiana come from? Can you show me Acadiana on the map? But people that came from Nova Scotia, Canada, that was kicked out, criminals, murderers, rapists, and came to Louisiana, and the New Maroons helped them on the bayou. Now the bayou, Atchafalaya.
Also got to applaud Mr. Kevin when he opens his show. He always has something of historical nature.
He's trying to get in right now, Jay. So let me hang up. Go to your phone and finish. But let me finish first, bro.
All right.
The Atchafalaya. They want you to believe that Bruce Fadoon, he discovered this and stuff. He stole recipes from the black mothers that was working in the kitchen. He stole their recipes, and even though he's dead, people still want to associate him with gumbo. How in the hell could he do anything with gumbo when he had to learn it from the blacks? So I'm gonna get off and let the other Mr. Kevin get on.
And thank you so much, sister. Will you be online tomorrow with your open line radio show?
Well, if we doing online from home, we'll be on.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sister Khadijah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye. Yes, people, again, history, they want to do away with any semblance of history. They're not just settling for the DEI. They want to do away with history. They want to do with any kind of negative talk about enslavement. They're actually trying to turn the word slavery on his head by saying it was a good thing because it was a learning experience. Wow. I doubted that the Jews would say that was a learning experience when they were all sent to the gas chambers. And these racist and corrupt people wants us to believe the same thing. So again, Black Caucus, I got you on camera right now. I got you on, not on camera, but up there on the poster. What are you going to do about people like Clay Higgins? When are you going to take a stand? You want people to vote for you? Matter of fact, I would say the Democrats, the Black Caucus, they are the fault of anybody not having the outcome they wanted in these last election cycle. It's their own fault because they created the voter apathy with weakness and inconsistency on the issues. Now you want people to support you on getting that black district up, that new black district up, which they're going to try to take away from. They're going to give it to the Negro and they're going to take it away like they always do. And so you have the court case going on today concerning the lawsuit about that very district again. So what I'm saying is stop blaming the people. Voter apathy is a real thing. And voter apathy don't just come because people just don't give a damn. It's people don't have anything to fight for because they don't believe in you guys. So, I'm going to try to get Mr. Kevin on the phone in the next segment. Let me go back to this clip right here.
If you know something, tell someone. There are tip lines. There's information available. Please, all hands on deck.
This was a heinous act, a heinous, cowardly act, and we will find them and we will bring them to justice.
This is our National Guard. These are our citizens that we bring in. It's a military police company that we recognize we need some more resources. We need some more boots on the ground because, again, what we're doing now is twofold. We've got to active invest at a time when we needed you most for employing the resources of all of our partners.
Mr. Kevin, are you there?
This is all hands on deck. From the White House all the way down. I've been in communication with the White House since early this morning. Secretary Mayorkas, leaders.
So much. Thank you. We'll get you the confidence tomorrow night on be safe. I'm going to be there. Yeah, me too.
And now I previously showed you the photo of the governor from Louisiana, Jeff Landry, before. Within about, 12 to 16 hours of the terrorist attack, what was he doing? He was out in front of a fancy steakhouse smiling and laughing it up and making this all into one big joke. And then he was called out on it. And then when he was called out on it, he was like, no, I'm just showing you that we need to be courageous in the face of terrorism. No, you just are a jerk. And you also don't have any human connections. There's no sensitivity to what people go through during terrorist attacks. Now, here's another example. The MAGA Republican Senator Kennedy, who I just showed you before, when he spoke at the press conference, he was doing jokes as well. He was doing jokes during a terrorist press conference where 14 people lost their lives, 30 people were injured. It was a horrific incident. And he's talking about how, I guess the microphone of NBC is on the right. That doesn't happen.
All right, we're back, Mr. Kevin. I'm gonna get this clip off the screen right now. We have Mr. Kevin on the line of defending our communities. What's happening, brother?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm glad I don't know how often you're going to be doing the real talk, but
it's a new show. I'm glad he got everybody written in stone on the schedule. Shout out to William. Every first Tuesday and third Tuesday of the month. Real Talk TV.
Okay, well, you have to give me a copy of that because the talk needs to be real 24/7. The way these criminals getting into office, man.
Yeah, man. I was telling the previous caller, Sister Khadija. What can we do, Mr. Kevin, about history, Black history? Okay, we giving people our taxpayers dollars, right? And they're saying we got to take any semblance of Black history. So what should we do, man?
We giving the rich people our tax. We giving the rich people our tax dollars, who then in turn return another tax from giving us a donation. So we're getting robbed alive. And what I like about these criminals, which is our organized crime government, but the thing is, we, the people, don't need permission from these people. We are not children.
Right.
See, we have been so complacent with these so-called black leaders. I heard you mention about the Black Caucus.
Yeah, they're up there on the screen right now. Yeah.
Yeah, please don't waste your time putting these Negroes. That's plantation Negroes. You understand? That's the Negroes that have been holding us back.
I wanted to show how these people don't have any clue. They try to shame the electorate and say it's our fault. We got voter apathy, but they create voter apathy. If you don't have no leader to go fight for, well, you might as well take your arm and go back home.
Jay, look, coronavirus in 2020 was supposed to wake us up and let us realize how we had been being robbed by our government. And then when white folks started to feel like black folks, now they wouldn't in no cage or locked up now. They just couldn't go out and be free. You saw how these white folk was going crazy?
Right.
This is what we need. It always be the natural disasters that show us exactly what this government represents, which is the rich people, not that, and I'm talking to the poor white people and the so-called middle class white people who are not middle class no more, especially those black indoctrinated Negroes that always come and tell us we got to do this unless we're going to lose everything. Well, black people don't have nothing. But you see, what they're saying is what they're going to lose is for them and their family. Notice that.
Right.
It's not about their community who always go and vote them in to so say represent us. It's about them losing their funds and everything else to those grant monies, which that's what it's all about. Our black churches now is the worst one now. When was politics involved in the black churches?
Right.
It started in the civil rights era. And we wasn't paying attention because thanks to shows like what you got, YouTube and TikTok is showing us that this been happening. We've been being sold from a long time ago by our own so-called black leaders. And I'm going to give Dr. Martin Luther King his prop because he was trying to change at the end. And when he tried to change,
yes.
When he tried to change, his own black people that was on the side of him was the one set him up. See, they don't want the public to know all the true history of black history, which is American history. And we don't need no permission to tell our children what they need to know. See, that's our biggest problem. We done been so insecure with our own self that we still feel we need the white people's validation to make us look like
that's why,
we are some kind of good people.
That's why that idiot, like Clay Higgins, don't respect us. Because of them, these guys in that same
don't
picture.
Even respect his own poor white people.
Yeah.
As you notice, Jay, his poor own white people that vote for him are the one doing the most suffering.
Yeah.
But as long as you tell white people that are racist that it's going to benefit black people, they will cut their own arms and leg off for us not to have it, not knowing it's benefiting you, dummies.
Just like this new state tax, Mr. Kevin, and you're a businessman out there. How do you think that's going to affect us, the little guy who have to go in the store and make the oil companies rich by buying a loaf of bread? You know?
The consumers, which people don't know, we are the consumers. That's why they use these words in their so-called dictionary that we play like we don't understand. All we got to do is pull up a dictionary and see what consumer is. Consumers are the people that buys the goods from the people who produce them.
Right.
See, until we start producing things, we're going to be those kind of people who always looking to buy things. See, if black people would keep their money in their hand, this country would go down. As you notice in New Iberia, Martinville, Lurville, Jeanerette, even now, and even Lafayette in the north side, there is no more black business.
Right.
But we always think we got to go save the white people's business while our business is failing. But they always say we got to cater to each other. Well, not if you got the same price as the white folk. We don't have to do that.
Right.
We used to be sensible people, Brother Jay. And our biggest problem is we fall in dummies. These black caucus are indoctrinated with white history. No, serious, man. And I'm not saying it to be joking.
Yeah.
These indoctrinated black people do not know who they are anymore.
Right.
Now, they'll use us for those numbers to get them into the office in politics. And we not understanding that their kind of politics was always our biggest conflicts, and we still playing in these people game. Let these white people fight, get us some popcorn, because they already done started. And come in another 10 days, the biggest organized crime, which I call him the organized criminal boss, Donald Trump is going to be in office. And now you're going to see them getting raped alive. And I'm talking about white people. So black people, like I said, nothing they can do to us have not been done, and we still surviving.
Yes, sir.
We just got to get our mind right and realize that we cannot depend on these kind of people to make our future better.
Yes.
So release yourself from these people because we are intelligent people. And I'm always, you mentioned my show, I'm always bringing great black people that they don't want you to know about because these people were considered so-called radical. No, they weren't radical. They was alive and knew what was going on. They was what called awoke. You know that word that these white people from Democrat and Republican use, awoke? They don't want us to be awoke because they know they can't control us. And until we start to see that and get these black politicians, the Black Caucus, the NAACP, all those people out of our way, we can start seeing things for what they are.
Yes,
we
sir.
don't need no leaders, man. And that's what we don't understand. We don't need no leaders. White people need leaders because they are living off of our backs. Subsidies is the biggest welfare they got. And another thing, Jay, they're always telling us, black people, that we need to pick our bootstrap up and get on going. How these white people feeling now that they don't have the government as their bootstrap?
Mm-hmm.
You see all the business that was on government assistance failing?
Right.
But got the nerve to tell black people we need to pick our bootstrap up. Even though we had our boots on, we just didn't have the strap to the government because the government wasn't even doing nothing for the black people.
You know, Kevin, Mr. Kevin, we got to be some real idiots if we're going to let people put Elon Musk, make him richer, and we get poor. And that's acceptable. That is so crazy. That is the craziest thing that I could ever hear of. Make
Brother
him
Jay,
rich.
What's so good about this, man, and it's sad to say this, white people have to see what we done saw. And these kind of white people like Elon Musk and all Trump's criminals, they need to see them without their veil on. And what I like about it today, these white people are saying out loud what they used to whisper. You know, I'm going to go back to Clay Higgins, how you said that he say all kind of stuff. And why it always take the black females in Congress to talk to this white boy? These black caucuses. No, serious, man. You know,
yeah, I know.
I would meet this man in the street and tell him exactly how I goddamn feel.
Yes.
But these black caucuses, they'll get together in a little room, not in Congress, in a little room and say what they got to say about Clay Higgins, and then when they get home,
I know personally they said something to him. They was lifting him up, and they were putting my name down at the same time. I know a few people there did that.
Because Jay, you all woke, man. You are starting to see and say what things need to be said. They cannot control you no more because you've seen you followed their literature, you know, all their writings. And what's happening is you're starting to read between the lines. That's what they don't want us to do. See, me as a black person, I wasn't paying attention to this government until they betrayed my people by trying to put us incarcerated, make us feel like we're not human. Now they're going after our children. That's why I draw the line in.
Right.
And these black politicians are signing off like our children need a juvenile detention home.
Like the one in St. Landry Parish, Jesse Baylor, they found out Albert Lee Gillard and Kearney Thomas, they some MAGA supporters, but guess what? They some MAGA supporters. They can't do what these other white MAGA people do. Didn't Jesse Baylor went into his church, to Kearney Thomas Church, and put a gun on him and his congregation, disrespected the man, no matter, the Republicans or whatever. But you go into their church and tell them at the end of the day, even though you black MAGA, you just a black man to him.
Jay, and this is a live show, and I know it's AOC. These are niggas that still left on the plantation, man.
Yes,
and I'll tell them in their face exactly how it is. This is why these white boys don't respect these kind of niggas, because they know these niggas is still on plantations. And they can talk to them all crazy, but they'll come harass me or you for saying how they are. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And the white boy just came disrespect you, and he ain't even got the degrees you got. He got a certificate.
Yeah.
And yet still you'll come talk to me like I wasn't supposed to say the things that I saw in you? You must be crazy.
Yes, sir.
And that's the way we got to talk to these black politicians, man. So do what you keep doing, but don't let nobody edit you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We won't get this last call in before we go off the air. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Mr. Kevin had a lot to say. Check him out every Thursday at 5:30 here on this AOC Community Media Channels, Cox 15 and LUS. And I won't go to this short clip where I bring my other caller on. I'm sorry I lost that caller.
Seen it.
Call back caller.
Caught fatally beating a black male. They avoid arrest. I'm going to remind you of what you have likely already seen. It is horrific. As you can see, the individual they are attacking has absolutely no way of defending himself.
Brother Wallace?
Nor is he an aggressor.
Hey, Brother Wallace.
There are some making claim about the lack of audio. Lack of audio does not matter. The reason why there's a lack of audio is because the officers did not turn on their recording devices. That is called standby mode. What you're looking at is an automatic standby mode of recording. It is only because of that standby mode we have the video of this beating, this brutal assault, this murder. The New York prison officers who are shown ruthlessly beating to death. And
we're back here at Real Talk TV on the AOC Community Media. Please check out all these great shows. Like I mentioned, Mr. Kevin shows on Thursday. Also on Friday, Brother Wallace Senegal's show, Community Matters. We want to definitely support all the people that contribute to informing our people here on AOC Community Media. We have on the phone a caller.
Yes. Good morning, Brother Jay, and good morning to the listeners that's listening to this wonderful program this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do need and keep Real Talk and all black talk shows on that is trying to make sure that the people are informed of what's going on. You know, I love when you talk about the Black Caucus, you know, because the Black Caucus is just in name only. There is no blacks. They are mega white supporters. They support the mega whites, the Jeff Landry. They don't bring nothing to the community. They don't try to let the community know what's really going on, because they don't know what's going on themselves.
They're good at banquets and red carpets at the Essence and stuff like that. That's what I've been noticing. And the whole purpose and my explanation of having this, Brother Wallace, is to ask them if Clay Higgins is doing and saying whatever the hell he wants. He's been doing that since he was a third-rate cop with OPD, Opelousas Police Department, and he's doing it now on the national level, attacking, disrespecting everybody black. The Black Caucus, that number right there, whether they're former or present Black Caucus, you guys can't say one damn thing to Clay Higgins?
Nope, they're not going to say nothing to Clay Higgins, because Clay Higgins is their master, not my master, their master. And I noticed during the press conference that the mayor of New Orleans did not mention Jeff Landry. Right. And because she did not mention Jeff Landry had to go to her ear and to tell her something, to be like he's all of that. But these people just don't know. Jeff Landry is not for the people, the black people, for sure.
Right.
In Louisiana. You know, I look at it like this here. You know, Jeff Landry is gonna ruin Louisiana almost worse than what's his name? Bobby Jindal did.
Right.
Bobby Jindal ruined Louisiana. And I want to see if he's going to be with Biden when Biden come down to Louisiana, or what, yesterday or today, one of them. Right. He's supposed to be coming down.
Well, Brother Wallace, we go off at 10:26, 4 minutes to the hour. I want to close it, man. I really appreciate it. And I apologize for my phone issues, and we're going to definitely be supporting you on this coming Friday.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, my brother.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, my brother. All right.